Hey everybody, Captain B-Nard back here with another Wi-Fi battle. Today we have week 7 of the NGDL4 versus Alice, another good player from the League/Discord server. And looking at her team, one thing did really surprise me, knowing the full draft lineup, and that was that she chose not to bring the Arcanine. I was prepared for that pretty well. But other than that, she does have a very solid looking team there. And going into this match, I am actually 3-3. I am in a bit of a slump here after a strong start in the first half of the league. Kind of a losing streak now, so really need a win here to go ahead and break that losing streak. But it is not going to be easy, so we're going to go ahead and get into it. So, looking at her team, I was thinking she was going to want to lead with either the Fortress or the Seismitoad to go ahead and set hazards early, so I decided to lead with my Goodra, since I do have a move for both of those guys, as she does end up leading with the Fortress. So she's going to go for the switch right away, probably predicting the fire move here. She's going to come in with the Seismitoad, as I do go for the Flamethrower here, hoping she would stay in. So that's not going to do much of anything there to this thing. So this turn she actually double switches again, not sure if she was predicting me to be carrying a grass move or not, but she does come in with the Miss Magius, as I do go for the Power Whip. I am carrying that. I'm a very odd Goodra set, both in moves and spreads, but that is going to knock this thing below half, which was nice. But this turn it is going to go for a Trick, unfortunately, which is going to take my Assault Vest and give me a Choice Scarf in return, which is no good since I am defensively invested. I go for a Draco Meteor and actually miss, which really does suck, since that probably would have taken that thing out from that range, even with the Assault Vest. So here I am going to switch into Aggron directly, predicting her to switch into Tapu Lele, knowing that I am locked into the Draco Meteor, but she actually goes for the Shadow Ball instead, which again sucks for me. That does drop me down by about half. So this turn she is going to switch out and come back in with the Fortress, as I am going to go for the Mega Evolution into Mega Aggron. And I am just going to take this opportunity to go ahead and set up the Stealth Rock on her side of the field, since it does do good damage to most of her team, and I do expect a lot of switching here. So I'm going to go for the switch here. I want to try and preserve my Aggron, plus there's not much I can do to this thing with the set I have, so I'm going to come in with the Chinchino, as she's just going to go for the Stealth Rock of her own to get that set up on me. So this turn, I'm going to go for a knockoff, just to go ahead and get some chip damage on this thing and get rid of its item, which is the leftover, so that's good. It won't be able to recover back up to activate the Sturdy, as she does just go for a Rapid Spin, which will get rid of my Stealth Rock, which does suck. So this turn I'm going to go for a Rock Blast. I am Skill Link, so I will hit 5 times guaranteed, and I do carry the King's Rock as well, so hoping to get chip damage and a flinch here. She still survives that at a little above half, and I don't get the flinch, unfortunately, as she does Volt Switch out to get some chip damage on me. And off the mandatory switch, she is going to come in with the Wheezing. So I'm just going to go for the knockoff here to go ahead and get rid of this thing's item and get some more chip. That is going to get rid of the Black Sludge, and I actually do get the flinch this time around off the King's Rock, which was kind of ironic. But this turn I am just going to go for the U-turn to get a little more chip damage and the mandatory switch, since I don't have much else to do to this thing. And off of that I am going to come in with my Cresselia, and I am going to take some damage from the rocks, as she is going to go for the Sludge Bomb. Not going to do much of anything there to me, since I am very bulky, and then I am going to regain some health with the leftovers. So I am just going to take this opportunity this turn to go for the Calm Mind to go ahead and get that special attack and special defense increase, trying to set up to do some damage to her team here, as she's actually going to go for the Toxic and land that to badly poison me, which does suck. That is going to limit the amount of turns I have here with Cresselia. But I'm going to regain some health with the leftovers, so that will compensate for that a little bit, and then I'm going to take some damage from the poison. So this turn she's going to go for the switch, probably predicting the Psychic move this time around. She is going to come in with the Seismitoad, as I am just going to go for another Calm Mind, actually, to get another special attack and special defense increase here. I just kind of want to punch some holes in whatever I can on her team, get some damage off. So I am going to regain some health with the leftovers and then take some more damage from the poison. So this turn, I am finally going to go on the offense with a Psychic, trying to get as much damage as possible on this thing. It does knock it all the way down to about a third, but she's going to hit me with a knockoff in return, which does drop me below half and get rid of my leftovers, which does suck. Then I'm going to take more damage from the poison, leaving me at about quarter health. So she's going to go for the switch here. Now back into her Miss Magius, probably hoping to live an attack with the Assault Vest that she stole earlier, but I do go for the Shadow Ball just in case she decided to switch, and even with the Vest, that is going to be enough to take this thing out, which is nice. That is going to drop her down to 5 Pokemon, but I am going to go down to the Poison this turn as well, which will knock me down to 5 Pokemon too. So we both get a blind switch in here. She is going to come in with the Gyarados as I decide to come in with my Xerneas. So that is obviously a good matchup for me. She's going to get the Intimidate, not going to matter since I am Special Attacker. And then I am going to take damage from the rocks, and my Fairy Aura is going to come into play. So she is going to go for the switch here, doesn't want to take an attack from the Xerneas. So she's going to come in with the Weezing, as I am just going to go for the Moonblast here. And despite the resistance, that did a ton of damage to this Weezing. Fairy Aura, Moonblast, max special attack is just too strong on the Xerneas here, so one more of those will take out the Weezing, which was great for me. That is going to drop her down to 4 Pokemon. So then she is going to come in with Tapu Lele, and she's going to get the Psychic Surge to set the Psychic Terrain on the battlefield. And here I am going to decide to switch out. I know I can't one-shot kill this thing, and I don't want to take any damage on the Xerneas right now, so I am going to switch in with my Aggron basically as fodder. I do take some damage from the rocks, and she actually goes for the Nature's Madness here, which was a bit of a surprise. That is going to cut my HP in half, which obviously is not going to kill me, leaving me in the red there with 35. So here she switches out, which is actually confirmation to me that she's probably choice itemed. She's going to come in with the Gyarados and get the Intimidate to lower my attack, as I am just going to go ahead and set up the Stealth Rock once again on her side of the field. So this turn I am going to go for the switch with the moveset I have on this thing. There's nothing I can really do to the Gyarados, so I'm going to come in with my Poliwrath and take some damage from the rocks, as she does actually go for a substitute, which was another surprise. Not good at all now that she has that set up as well. And then I'm going to regain that health with the leftovers. So this turn she is going to go for a Dragon Dance, which is kind of what I was predicting. That is going to get her a attack and speed increase, trying to set up to do some big damage to me here. As I'm going to go for the Poison Jab here in return. And that will be enough definitely to break the sub here, since I am max attack. So she is just going to go for another substitute this turn, I guess just hoping I would maybe over-predict and switch out, but this thing is a real danger, so I am definitely not going to do that. I'm just going to keep going for the Poison Jab, which will once again break the substitute here. So that is also going to be it for the Psychic Terrain, which was nice. So she's just going to go for another Dragon Dance here, getting another attack and speed increase, really trying to set up for a potential sweep, which is pretty scary, obviously. I am just going to go for the Poison Jab in return, hoping it will be enough. Unfortunately, she does survive that with about a quarter health. And this turn she is going to go for the Mega Evolution, finally into Mega Gyarados. And she is going to get that Mold Breaker coming into play, which is important because she is going to go for the Waterfall here. It is going to be able to hit me despite my Water Absorb. It takes me down by a little less than half, which was nice, and that is going to allow me to go for the Poison Jab in return, which will take out the Gyarados, thankfully, and drop her down to 3 Pokemon there, as I am going to regain some more health with the leftovers. So then she is going to come back in with the Tapu Lele and take some damage from the rocks. And of course the Psychic Surge will activate to set the Psychic Terrain on the battlefield once again. So I'm going to go for the switch here. I do want to kind of preserve my Poliwrath for later. So once again I am going to switch in with the Aggron as fodder. I do take more damage from the rocks, and she is going to go for the Psyshock, which from that range will finish off my Aggron and drop me down to 4 Pokemon, but that is okay because now I can see what move she decided to lock herself into, which is good information for me. So I'm going to switch in with my Goodra once again, take more damage from the rocks, and that is going to force her to switch there. Doesn't want to take a poison attack, so she will come back in with the Seismitoad, probably predicting that, as I do go for the Sludge Bomb so not going to do much of anything to this thing here. So I do have to switch out. Then again, I am Choice Scarf locked into that Sludge Bomb, so I'm going to switch in with my Cinccino here and take some more damage from the rocks, thinking I could probably survive whatever attack she goes for, but she actually decides to go ahead and bust out the Z move this turn here on the Seismitoad, which was another little surprise there, and that is going to be the Poison Z move, the Acid Downpour. So, not sure what move this is coming off of, but it actually will be enough to take out my Cinccino there, which does suck. That is going to drop me down to 3 Pokemon as well. So, then I'm going to come back in with my Poliwrath and take more damage from the rocks. And I'm going to outspeed this thing. I'm going to go for a substitute of my own here to go ahead and get that set up on this thing, as it does go for a Sludge Wave in return, and luckily for me that actually is not enough to break my sub, so that was pretty awesome. I'm going to regain some health from the leftovers as well. So this turn I am going to go for a Poison Jab of my own. Unfortunately, it is actually the best move I have to hit this thing with, and unfortunately she is going to survive that in the red just barely, and go for another Sludge Wave here, and that is going to be enough this time around to go ahead and break my substitute. So I'm going to regain some more health with the leftovers, but a pretty dangerous situation right now for both of us, as that is going to be it for the Psychic Terrain. So I'm going to decide to go for the substitute again here rather than take this thing out. I want to try and have a sub up when the Tapu Lele comes back in, as she actually is going to go for the Earthquake here, which is unfortunately going to be enough to break my sub in one shot. And then I do regain some more health with the leftovers. So this turn, she is actually going to go for the switch here, which was a little bit of a surprise that she would want to try and risk that, but she is going to switch back in with the Fortress, predicting the Poison Jab, which I do go for, so she does get a free switch there, which was nice for her. And then I am going to regain some more health with the leftovers, which was actually really nice. That is going to put me just barely high enough to go for another substitute here, dropping me down to 4 HP off of that. She goes for the Volt Switch here. I'm hoping it won't be enough to break the sub, and thankfully for me it is not enough damage to break the sub, which was awesome. That is going to force her to switch back in with the Seismitoad, which is going to go down to the Stealth Rock damage there, which was also really nice for me. That is going to knock her down to 2 Pokemon, as I do regain some more health with the leftovers. So then she is going to come back in with the Fortress and take more damage from the rocks. And I know I'm going to outspeed this thing. I'm just going to go for the Waterfall, hoping it might be enough damage to take this thing out. But it does survive in the red. Luckily, I actually do get the flinch here, which was amazing. Poliwrath putting in the finest of work in this match. I do regain more health from the leftovers, and then I'm just going to go for one more Waterfall, which will be enough to take care of the Fortress this turn and drop her down to just 1 Pokemon. So pretty amazing turn of events for me there, as I do regain some more health with the leftovers. So finally she is going to come back in with the Tapu Lele and take some more damage from the rocks, and once again get the Psychic Surge to set the Psychic Terrain up. And she is definitely going to outspeed me, of course. She is going to go for the Psyshock, lock herself into that, and that of course will be enough to break my substitute. But that is okay. That is going to allow me to fire off a Poison Jab in return. But unfortunately, it is not quite enough to take this thing out. It just barely hangs on in the red, which does suck. I'm going to regain more health with the leftovers, but she is just going to go for one more Psyshock this turn, which will definitely finish off my Poliwrath and drop me down to 2 Pokemon. But that is okay. I am just going to come back in here with my Xerneas, and I am max HP, so I should definitely be able to take a Psyshock from this thing. I do take the Stealth Rock damage and get my Fairy Aura. She is going to definitely outspeed me here, being Scarfed. Go for the Psyshock, and I do take that pretty well. I survive with about 1/4 of my health. Go for the Moonblast in return, which will be more than enough to finish off the Tapu Lele, and that is game. So I won that one 2-0 against Alice, but that was a great game, very close, very competitive, very intense. Thanks for watching again, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, and or subscribe if you did enjoy, and stay tuned for more new battles in the future. So that's it, and we'll see you next time.